Hi, my artist, Miss Schaefer here. So today I wanted to talk to you about what we were going to do in art today. So our objective today would be to draw in nature. We're going to do a lot of different details, but we're going to do it, remember, using shapes. We've done this previous where we do shapes into form, which is flat and 2D, into popping things out to look like they're 3D. I'll explain a little bit more in the year, but for now, we're just going to make some basic shapes and make them look like nature. Look at this. And look at the detail. What do you see? So even this, isn't that pretty? And look at the detail on its side. So let's get started. Grab you a pencil and a piece of paper and let's go. This here is from an artist named Zoe Jones, and she does sketches for her sketchbook. So now we have all our objects that we found outside to use, and I'm going to start the drawing. Now I did draw some of these out, but they're so light that you can't see them. So I'm using what I have. I don't have my typical thin Sharpie, but I'm using what I have too. And I'm going to outline these out. So what you want to do is practice with detail. Now, don't be hard on yourself if you can't get into all the little detail that you see, but remember, we're going to draw with shapes, and we're just going to have fun with this because it is a good practice for us to do. So for now, I'm going to do this leaf right here. So he's right here. We're going to go down the stem. And I made that little mistake. Sometimes it's good to tape your paper down to the edge. I'm actually holding the camera, so it's kind of hard. I had to take my document camera back to work. So I'm going to just, this pen bleeds a little bit, so you can see it's like really thick and blurry, but we are going to use what we have. And you're going to look at your leaf and go, well, does it look like a U or an upside down U? Does it look like a crown? Does it look like a point? And you're going to go around and doing exactly all the little fun curvy roads that it has. Now, when we do art, we're always taking our time because it takes time to do some really pretty stuff. And it's also kind of enjoyable when you just kind of get in a rhythm of just drawing and relaxing. See, all the roads go down to the main freeway. So we start there first. Then there's some that have many roads coming off of it, little veins coming off of it, because your leaf kind of drinks a lot through all this. And they don't match with the other side, so they're not equally at the same point that your leaf would be. And they always go towards this stem. So if you're wondering how to make the V, in a sense, it all points to this, the main part. So we're going to move on to another thing. I was thinking of how dandelions were. They kind of look like little mini firecrackers. So I was just going to do some that are blowing in the wind. These are pretty easy. It's just a line and then like little star lines around. My thing is, and I know it's kind of funny, but I like doing odd numbers. So if you have 4, it doesn't continue. It doesn't seem like to expand than it does 5. 5 just seems like it keeps going and going. Where 4, there seems your eye kind of stops. So I always do 5 or 7 and things when I draw or even when I decorate. Like clustering candles or something on a table. So you can keep continuing with this to make your dandelion kind of big, however you want to do it. But I'm going to work on him. So it almost looks like a heart, but one side is bigger than the other and a little bit more relaxed. Then you've got a stem that comes out this way, but you don't have to make it as sharp. And then it branches out. Remember, the line goes always to the bottom of this, like diagonal, but in curves. And then of course it has little tiny ones coming out, and that's if you want to do it with your pencil a little bit lighter. The marker's not very forgiving, kind of does it really, probably too harsh, but it does go like this. And like I said, you can always pause this video if I'm going fast. And then when you color it, it'll be like you can do darker on one side, lighter on the other, and then darker on the edges, because you always want to go darker wherever the black is, because then it shows value, right, from dark to light. So the lightest area would be right in the center, kind of like shining. Let's go to others. Now, if you look at a flower, you're going to have to look at the petals really well. Sometimes the petals are almost like diamonds. So depending on what you have and how detailed it is, but you're looking at it as a shape. Is it an oval? Is it a long oval? Or does it point at the end? And then there are usually some kind of like shadow or wrinkles closer to the inside. So today you just want to kind of do a nature walk. You could even go look at flowers and bring them in and then draw them. But slow down, don't feel like you're in a hurry today. It's just for you to enjoy learning how to do drawings. But I'm showing you all different kinds today so that you can see how I think when I do these. Everything is a shape. And you know, you typically think when you see a flower, you're seeing it from the front side like this. This one, you're kind of seeing from the side, right? So it doesn't have to be the picture perfect, like facing you. Also look at how funny like folds are. Like sometimes you can get like a wave and then you do a little flip, or you make the letter U, and remember, just like we do pumpkins, you're curving at one side, curving at the other, and in the middle is usually straight. You can also make like these two straight lines and then do a wavy line. I start a wavy line here and then I go all the way down here. And you can do this oval because it's got some kind of center in it. Now, you don't want to do dots everywhere. Remember, you leave dots alone at the top because it shows value. Like the heavier dots will be down below. You never want it to look like so perfect, because nature is definitely not, we think it's perfect, but there's a lot of asymmetric values in it, not the same. So, and these are real easy. These are kind of fun. They're just, think of a pencil line all the way down and you're going on both sides of little ovals. Remember to keep one at the top. One at the top. And you don't have to go all the way down because it's supposed to be stopped about right here. But it just kind of gets you in a nice mood for nature. You can color these if you'd like. You don't have to, but this is just to get you drawing. Now, I could, if I wanted to, do tiny little value lines where it's a little darker, right closer to this, and do a few texture bumps on the center. But you don't have to. You just want to do a very little, okay? Now, if you were doing, sorry, I'm shaking. I think my hand's getting tired. You were doing a rose. I always start out with like a U. Can you see that? and then I come up and it kind of V's like that, and you come back and make it thick. Now everything is kind of wavy and it goes in a circle. It's almost like an oval, remember? But it's all in waves. Your oval is all in waves. And you can even bring it down or around this way. Now at the bottom, they're like curved triangles, is the best I can describe that. And you have to have some tucking behind each other, like overlapping, right? And then this part comes down. And don't forget you got little thorns. And I always like to come up and down, and remember we already know how to do the leaves. And we're not coloring it all green. We're doing maybe dark green here and a yellow green here. You're doing two different colors. Changing up the color a little bit. Even a rose wouldn't be all red. It would be red here, maybe a pink circle real dark here. And then right underneath this could be a red, like you could do red and then purple crayon on top of it. And it'll make a nice shadow. Can we see that? I want to mark on my table, so be super careful. Usually you have something underneath your paper, especially if you're using marker. Please put something underneath. So like I said before, you can make the side of a flower and not necessarily a flower. And see how I'm just making wiggly lines and then coming to a point, and then it gets shorter on the side. And so like this one's really cute. This one reminds me of the Lorax, those fuzzy, because it's so cute. It's like, my son picked that and brought it in. I was like, that's cute. Almost looks like an acorn on the side though. If you see that detail, it's like, is that long V's, or, I mean, they're kind of like this, right? And then you can go overlapping. But all this is in whatever you have in your yard, or if you even have, I have fake flowers too, but they're so pretty. Somebody made me a Frida crown with them. So remember the artist Frida? So then it has some lines over. So lines going down, and then lines going up. Now, depending on how many you want to do, or if you want to use your color pencils, if you have those, they'll be thin enough to do these. And it'll look really pretty, and probably better in different colors. Like you can do dark purple and then get light purple in there. So that's kind of cute. So now I wanted to show you these bells. So usually you just make a funny little shape of like 5, like big bumps. And then you make the letter U, and they kind of give you the resemblance of the bell flowers. And then you can make stems and shadows. And I think they might have like something inside that's like a little tiny circle. I saw one on, if you want to look on in your garden, or in your, if you're allowed to use the internet, you can look at more detail and waves at flowers and do your double lines around them. Kind of gives it more of a pop. So like I said, like the roses, they have like an oval, and you're just going back and forth, and it's almost like a messy oval all the way around. And it's just fun. Now it's going to go to the side, and these are going to be a little bit bigger. Remember, if you see a triangle, draw a triangle. And sometimes it takes your eye to study it a little bit. But it's always fun to try. And then I like making the big curved leaves and the stem. So that's all your work you've done. And you can play and find other things. Sorry, my fingers or my arms in the way. But you can find other things that you can draw in detail. And if you get done with this process and you do like a dark marker, you could even do it in purple, which would be really kind of fun because it's not the typical black. But you could also color them in with color pencils after you did the marker. So, or crayon is fine too. But just remember, if you have pencil, you want to erase it first. All right, there you have it.